Infamous liner turned cruise ship to be sold at auction. This is from the Maritime Executive, and it was published on May the 30th, 2025. One of the most historic passenger ships is facing an uncertain future that will likely end with the ship being removed for scrap after not being operated for the past 5 years. Today known as Astoria, the ship is best known as the Swedish liner Stockholm, which was involved in a fatal collision with the Italian liner Andrea in 1956. The Rotterdam District Court has ordered the ship to be sold at auction on June the 17th. The proceeds for the sale will be used to pay her dockage fees in Rotterdam. She was moved to the Dutch port in December of 2020 after having been laid up in the UK at the onset of the pandemic. Previously, it was reported that she had been offered for sale, and various rumors circled of the efforts to save the ship, which is one of the last ocean liners and the oldest ocean-going cruise ship. She was placed on the auction block in 2021 with a minimum bid of €10 million, but failed to receive significant bids. In 2023, it was rumored that the ship had been sold for scrap, but the owner denied it, saying they were still working on plans for her future. The ship was ordered at the close of World War II as one of the first modern passenger liners, limited by post-war shortages of materials and the capability of the Scandinavian shipyards. Swedish-American Lines, which operated well-known luxury liners before the war, was limited to a 525-foot liner that was 11,700 gross tons. She would be a workhorse carrying cargo and mostly tourist-class passengers. She was designed for year-round Atlantic service, and sailing from Scandinavia, she was given an ice-reinforced hull and a bow which would forever seal her legacy. She entered service in February of 1948 at Stockholm and was rebuilt in 1952, expanding her accommodation, but she had a mostly unremarkable career. Swedish-American added a new, modern liner in 1953, meaning Stockholm could also occasionally sell cruises. Her legacy came, however, on the fateful night of July the 25th, 1956. Outbound from New York to Scandinavia, she was near the Nantucket Lightship when the Italian liner Andrea emerged out of a fog bank, making a turn across the course of the Stockholm. While the ships had radar availability, the technology was in its early stages of development, far less advanced than current systems. The ice-strengthened bow of the Stockholm tore through the Andreadora's starboard side. A massive sea rescue effort saved most of the passengers aboard the Italian ship, which sank the following morning, while the badly damaged Stockholm limped back into New York Harbor for repairs. A total of 51 passengers and crew on the two liners were killed in the tragedy. Swedish-American rebuilt the ship, but retired her 4 years later, selling her to an East German group that used her for cruises for trade unionists and community party members. Retired by the Germans in 1985, she ended up in Italy, where a project reportedly heavily subsidized by the government, she was rebuilt into a modern cruise ship. She was stripped to the steel and given a new diesel power plant. Mostly unrecognizable, she returned to service in 1994 and operated cruises for various companies under multiple names. She was renamed Azores in 2013 by her latest owner-operator, and 3 years later was chartered to UK's Cruise and Maritime Voyages, or CMV, who changed her name to Astoria. She continued to cruise, building a loyal following because of her quirky history, but CMV planned to retire her by 2020. The pandemic, however, brought her career to a premature close. Unlike the vessels that were owned by CMV, Astoria was operating on charter, so she reverted to her owners, which by that point was a Portuguese bank that had financed their last owners. An investment group acquired the Astoria, but later abandoned plans to rebuild her due to her advanced age. Since 2021, she has been listed for sale. Due to her age and reports that her interiors are in poor condition, after years of being laid up, it is unlikely that she would be reactivated. She will be sold to the highest bidder, with speculation that would be a cash buyer or a scrapyard. The old girl definitely has an interesting history. She's been through a lot. She nearly sank. She did sink another liner. And that would have been one horrible night for everybody involved, that's for sure. And 51 people did lose their life there, so that's very sad. It looks like her time has come to an end. There is always a chance somebody will buy her and try and get her back in service, but realistically, chances are she's going to end up in some scrapyard somewhere. All right, guys, there it is. As always, thanks for watching. If you're new here and you like these kind of videos, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you on the next one.